This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
CBD is a game changer sweeping the nation. This hemp extract is the natural way to elevate your mood, eliminate aches and pains, reduce anxiety, and keep you sleeping all night long. It can even cut your workout recovery time in half. Get in the game today with 20% off all orders of CBD and lavender products from Lavender Lane, a lavender farm located right here in Milan, Michigan. Just go to lavenderlanemi.com today and enter coupon code Detroit for 20% off your entire order. Guys, look, these amazing products are infused with calming lavender to maximize their effectiveness, meaning your CBD items only take minutes to take effect, which is way quicker than those pills you were about to swallow. On top of it, they are perfect for men and women. Lavender Lane has lab-tested CBD creams, tinctures, and roll-ons that are perfect for any situation, even if you're on the go. Put your health back in your hands by heading over to lavenderlanemi.com and entering coupon code Detroit for 20% off your entire order of CBD and lavender products. What do you have to lose? Your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back. So if you need lavender gifts for your loved ones or just looking for the natural way to ease your discomfort with CBD, go to lavenderlanemi.com and use coupon code Detroit to unlock these miraculous benefits of CBD and lavender. That's lavenderlanemi.com. And remember, use coupon code DETROIT for 20% off your CBD and lavender products from Michigan's own Lavender Lane.
And welcome back. Try and keep this as positive as possible.
Nothing but pain and agony this week.
Pain.
Except for the Buffalo game.
And suffering. And Edmonton. I mean, that's one bright spot. They beat Edmonton.
Yeah.
And they beat them soundly. Like, they were in charge of that game from start to finish. Edmonton went on a nice little run in the third. Thought it was going to, I thought they were going to tie it up just based on past history. But it was a good win. Standings are terrible. Fans are dejected. They're already lining up on bridges to jump off of, cliffs to jump off of.
Maybe they should take Blashill up there and push him off instead.
I'm going to start.
That's horrible to say. I shouldn't say that.
No, but it's not horrible to say because at some point when we're 4-10-1, okay? And here's the crazy thing. They're only, as of today, are only 8 points out of a playoff spot, which is 4 games.
Yeah, but we're only like 3 weeks into the season.
Listen, I get it. Points-wise, we are 5 behind Tampa Bay. I mean, it's not like everybody else has racked up 30, 40 points or whatever it may be, and we're just sitting there in the low base. We have 9 points. I'll just go from the bottom of our division, and I'll go up. Ottawa's still the worst with 7 points. We have 9. New Jersey has 10. New Jersey's struggling just as bad as well, which is crazy. The Rangers have 11. The Blue Jackets have 13. Tampa and Philly both have 14. Montreal, 16. And then your 2 wild card owners right now are 17 and 17 is Pittsburgh and Toronto, with records of 8-5-4 or 8-5-1 and 7-5-3. Nobody's setting the world on fire right now in the Eastern Conference.
No, the Western Conference has got some really good teams.
The West, on the other hand, a lot stronger right now. But my point being is, as miserable as things are for Wings fans right now, as bad as this team is playing, the number of goals that are giving up, the defense has to get fixed. It just has to. But
well, you just mentioned the Maple Leafs and the Penguins, being 7 and 8 with the wild card, but you've got the Panthers, the Hurricanes, the Sabres, the Islanders, the Bruins, and the Capitals are all at 19 points or higher.
Right.
Which is a lot.
Yeah. So it's going to be a fight for those 2 wild card spots. If things keep going the way they're going, we're not going to be in the conversation for anything if things keep going the way that they're going. So my question is, at what point does Blashill get fired? I don't, and here's why I say that. We made the trade for Parolini from Chicago, which, we'll see how that pans out. Apparently he's very talented and has ups and downs and had some issues with the Chicago organization, so that's why they traded him.
That doesn't surprise me. Lots of people have issues with the Chicago organization.
Yeah, unless you're an executive in the NHL and you just can let them do whatever they want.
Or Al Capone.
Or, either way. But that's a whole different podcast. At 4-10-1, you're seeing a lot of the same things that shouldn't be happening. multiple 5-goal games, 7-goal game the other night. Just a lot of scoring with no way of shutting it down. And here's why I say, and again, I have nothing personal against Blashill. I don't know the guy. I'm just saying that I think he needs to be gone because it's too much of the same stuff over and over, and we're not getting any results. You can stick with these same lines as long as you want. If you're going to keep losing games by 4 or 5 goals, and you're not going to make any tough decisions, like, look, you're sitting almost dead last in the league. As a head coach, I'll take that one step further back. If I'm the general manager, what's going to catch my eye in a good way is the coach doing everything he can to make changes, call up, send down. Hey, you're not playing. You're done. You're scratched. We're going to call up some of these little kids. Hey, guess what? Here's your spot to shine. You know, you're going through a major rebuild right now with a crap roster of about, I would say, 60% of your players are junk. It's been established they're junk, and they're playing as such. You can string together 1 or 2 good games. I guess that's good and well because it shows you that you're capable of playing well, but you can't have one great game and then lose 6 in a row and come back and it shouldn't happen.
I don't see the changes that they're making much of a difference. Like they've called some guys up, a couple of guys, but I don't see the lines changing. I don't see this guy getting an opportunity. It's almost like, well, this guy, we had him here, but he's not doing very well keeping the water cooler full, so we're going to send him down and bring the other guy up and see if he can keep the water. If you're going to bring somebody up, they should be playing. You know? And I don't see that. So making moves is one thing, but making the move for a reason is different.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm the GM and I'm going through something like this, and again, this is just my uneducated fan position of this, you see a coach like Blashill, you see these long losing streaks, the amount of goals they're giving up. It's the same stuff night after night after night. Mike Green has just struggled. Nemeth, I don't even know what this guy does. He just does not look good. He has streaks, like he'll look good at times, but the consistency, that was the one word that I kept using in the preseason, consistency. If you're going to lose 3 or 4 games by 1 goal, okay, at least you're competing. Losing 7-0 is not competing, and I don't see enough changes being made. I don't see enough major scratches. Like, hey, you know what? You haven't been playing well. You're scratched. They need to call up some of these younger guys, Zadina and Valeno, guys like this. Snyder. Why the hell is Snyder not playing?
I don't have a reason for you, and that upsets me.
It makes 0 sense to not have Moritz Seider up playing with the Wings, at least for a couple games, to get his feet wet, to see if he can make some changes on this horrible defense. So,
your number 1 draft pick, we picked 4th, right? 6th. We picked 6th, was Cedar.
Mm-hmm.
He's a defenseman. And you picked him because you said, this guy's got unbelievable hockey knowledge, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
I would like to tell you right now that in the Eastern Conference, the Red Wings, they are a negative 24 in goal differential.
That's insane.
Do you know what the next closest team is?
We're 24?
Yeah.
Say 13?
16.
16. That was close.
There's a 16, a 14, and 11, and everybody else is single digit or positive. That's horrific. Minus 24.
That's insane.
In 15 games.
Wow.
And you've won 4 of those. So you had a positive goal differential in those games. So that means that in 11 games, that hurts. That hurts. Why? You're right. Where's he at?
Right. I don't get it. And there's, to kind of spill this over into one of the big cancers of Michigan fans right now for football. Everyone, there was groups of people that are fire Harbaugh, let's just fire the coach. That's going to fix everything. It's him. It's all on the coach. And if, my answer to that was, okay, great. And who are you going to replace him with? Okay, great. You're just going to go fire him who wins, 75% of his games. Yes, I get the Ohio State stuff, but he's winning 9 or 10 games every year. He's competing. He's been on the cusp of being in the playoffs twice, but he didn't get there. But the same thing if you look at a coach like Blashill, who do you replace him with? So I did some looking.
The guy on the bench that has a Stanley Cup.
Well, I'll say that again. At the top of my list, you have an assistant, Dan Bielema, who won a Stanley Cup with the Pittsburgh Penguins and beat the Detroit Red Wings in the finals. So, safe to say this guy can coach. He's got his name on the cup. He didn't have such success in Buffalo, but I don't think if you put Jesus in charge of Buffalo that he was going to have much success there
That's
either.
like asking someone to be successful as the Cleveland Browns head coach.
I think the first step of getting this rebuild underway and showing the fans that this is serious and we are going to make changes that have to be made, because Stevie Y was known for making tough decisions in Tampa. I mean, he got rid of two massive faces of the franchise in Vinny and St. Louis. I mean, that's a bold move.
Yeah, for sure.
And I relate that really close to the year that Scotty Bowman almost traded Steve Yzerman to the Ottawa Senators, and fans were ready to revolt. So my point is, it's got to start with Blashill being let go. Nothing has significantly been shown on a basis so far through 15 games that he may know what he's doing. I don't think he does, because he's doing the same thing over and over, and we're getting the same result. Losses, like 8-game losing streak. It's just got to stop. So my first choice would be to get rid of Blashill, and then you have Bielema as the interim head coach through the rest of the season. We're not winning jack nothing this year, so give him the reins for the rest of the season. Let him ride it out for the rest of the season with the interim tag. At the end of the season, then I know when we've been saying it week after week, this upcoming offseason is going to be the rebuilding of this franchise. With all the cap money,
yep,
there's going to be
crap contracts going away.
Bad contracts are coming off the books, except for Abdelkader. We're stuck with him for 3 years unless a trade can get pulled off, which I pray that it will. So Dan Bielema, that's what I would do. Interim head coach, rest of the season, ride it out, see what he can do. Give him the rest of the year to do it. And then we look at the roster, who's going to be let go, who's not going to get brought back. Trades are going to happen. The trade deadline comes around, I want to say it's March. Moves could be made there. I still think they need to find a franchise goalie. I'm not sold on Jimmy Howard, but a lot of it's not his fault. Dave Tippett is a coach that's out there that's rumored to be on the hot seat that may not be available. He's with Arizona right now. Todd McClellan, who going way back to Scotty Bowman, was here with the Red Wings during those runs. He was an assistant, but he's done very well with the Sharks. They haven't won a cup or anything, but at San Jose, they're never going to win a cup.
Right.
They're the Toronto of the West. Boston, Claude Julien. There's rumors that he may not be brought back at the end of the season if their season continues to go the way that it is. And then the other one, which is really funny because if he doesn't win in the playoffs this year, he may not be brought back, and that's Mike Babcock, who was the former coach of the Red Wings.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening, but there are some names out there, legitimate names, that could be swayed over here if they're let go or on the block for free agent. They don't have a job.
Right.
I'd stick with Dan Bielema. I'd let Blashill go today, tomorrow, and you just let Bielema know, hey, look, this is your team the rest of the year. Let's see what you got.
I honestly feel like right now we could go with Bubbles the Clown and get better results.
The shitty thing is,
prove me wrong.
I can't even argue with it. I can't even argue with you in that. But it is, like I said, it's rough. But I don't know. It's like I don't know what to say. The fans online I try to say it to as many people as I can. Look, if you went into this season expecting greatness, you're fooling yourself. You're getting angry for no reason. Even I said that. I just was hoping they'd be pushing to be in conversation for a playoff spot through the wild card. Just be close. Just be within 5 points. You're probably not going to get it. I get that.
Just be improved.
But it would be cool to have a massive turnaround, but that turnaround's not going to happen if you stay the same. And
right.
Blashill's not going to get us there, in my opinion. I just don't see it happening.
I don't either. I don't either.
Unfortunately.
Because what you've got is a guy that's been there. This is his 4th year. and it's been the same story since he's been there.
True.
The same things happen.
Yep.
You don't have any defense. You give up too many goals. I mean, if I performed like this at my job, I'd have been fired a long time ago. I'd have to fire myself.
And I know there was an issue there with Ken Holland being rumored. I mean, nobody knows for sure what happens behind closed doors, but it was rumored that he was just extremely loyal to Blashill because of what he did in Grand Rapids and was hesitant to get rid of any. I mean, if Kenny Holland is anything, he's loyal. I mean, with all those long-ass contracts he was dealing out. Loves to keep people a long time, but Yzerman has shown that that's not going to be the case. Two-year contracts are all he's given out to a couple players. Filppula got 2 years, and I think Nemeth was signed to a 2-year deal as well. But that just tells you that they're going to have to produce, or things are going to have to change. And unfortunately, Yzerman's going to be the one that has to make those decisions, because the decisions Blashill's are making are terrible. Because nothing's changing on the ice.
It isn't. And again, I don't think we can say that enough, even though I know people are getting tired of hearing it. It's not. You've brought in new people. Other than your number one line being really good,
yep,
nothing's changed. And your number one line should be really good.
Sure.
But you know what? That's nothing that they really did this year.
No.
That was just a product of Mantha being hurt last year.
It still had a good year.
Yeah. That's just a product of having guys back at the beginning of the season that are healthy. You don't even deploy them differently. It's just, okay, well, we got 8 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third period. Let's just go ahead and put in, fifth line. What?
Yeah, it's frustrating for sure, especially with guys like Anthony Ciu that just seems like he can't buy a goal anymore. The 7-0 game I just ignored. I had stuff going on for my daughter's football season anyway, for cheerleading, so I'm like, you know what? That comes first anyway, but, I was following it in the stands on the phone, and it just like...
Eventually, it's just like, okay, I'll focus on other things.
I'm glad that I can't watch this game live while I'm sitting here, but Anthony Ciu has got to get off the... whatever. He's got to get going. He's struggling. He's getting chances. He just can't put it in the net, and I think... Unfortunately, as much as he is a fan favorite, I think he's going to be a trade deadline.
So they're going to move him.
I would expect him to get moved, to get a fresh start somewhere else. And it's not because I want that to happen. I just think that's going to happen because I think you can get something back with him because he's young, super fast, and he can score. He was one of the guys that had over 20 goals last year.
Yeah.
It's not like he's junk. He's just playing like it right now. But he'll bounce out of it. It'll be really interesting to see where this team goes going forward once that axe falls. It's got to happen soon. I can't keep going like this for another week, 2 weeks, before the situation really gets out of control.
Now, to be fair, they've played... It's like the NHL wanted Detroit to start the season off against the best teams in the league.
True.
Other than Ottawa, just about everybody they've played is... like a top 8 or a top 9 team. They're in the playoff contention right now. And I know that you can't say, well,
you're right,
the playoff contention, because we still got like 7 months to go. But these teams are performing on hard good on a regular basis every night.
I don't get it.
But you still lost to Ottawa twice.
Yeah, in horrible fashion.
Yeah. So, you beat Edmonton, but... you're not expected to beat Edmonton once. You're expected to beat Ottawa both times.
Right.
So I don't know.
As bad as we are right now, they should have beat Ottawa.
Oh,
I agree.
Yes.
Completely agree.
So is it going to be different when they play teams that are more middle of the road or on the bottom end of the spectrum? I don't know. But I'm going to tell you what. I don't see those other teams doing what they're doing. Okay, negative 24. We're minus 24. There's nobody else that's minus 24. So
right. Yeah, and we've got a stretch coming up. They've got on the 4th, which that's what, tomorrow?
Yeah.
These are all blending in after last week. The Predators tomorrow, and then they go.
That's a very good team.
And then they go to New York to play the Rangers, who are struggling, but it's still at the Rangers. Then they come home to play Boston, and then after that they play Golden Knights at home. And then they go off on a West Coast trip to the Ducks, the Kings, the Sharks.
So your next 3 games.
Next 4 games, you play.
You're still playing top 3 of those 4 teams are top teams.
Correct. So it's there's very few crappy teams in the NHL. You're going to play good teams on a regular basis.
Yep.
But you're also expected to hang with those teams and play well. But I don't know. I guess I'm just rambling because I'm at a loss. I know it's bad. This is rock bottom, if you ask me. The season can't get any worse. If you're already almost in dead last place, it's just going to continue. But I think they can change that if they just get rid of Blashill and let Bielema be the interim head coach.
Let's put it in perspective how bad they've been for this first part of the season.
Oh, this will be fun.
I mean,
not really.
We're here to cheer you guys up. The Red Wings, the Blackhawks, the Wild, and the Sharks all have 9 points.
Okay.
The only team that has less than 9 points is Ottawa, and 4 of those points came against Detroit.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Ottawa has 3 wins and an overtime loss, and 2 of those wins are against Detroit.
Yeah, it's
That's bad.
But then,
that's really bad.
But like I said, if you look at that on the opposite side, with again, everyone knows the story of St. Louis last year being in last place. The Wings are only 9 points out of a wild card spot right now. Mm-hmm. Now you say 9 points. I mean that's basically 4 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If 4 game streak,
5 games,
five games, depending on if you win the outright 2 points every time or whatever, that could easily happen. But no Detroit fan has hope that
not
can
when
happen.
You're giving up 7 and 5 points on a regular basis.
They lead the league in goals up and goals given. It's not even close.
Oh.
They're in the 30s now. The last I checked, it was like 35 goals they'd given up, and it was by far the worst in the league. If you can clean that up and bring up a couple kids Hronik has filled in awesome.
Yes, he has.
Since they've called that kid up, he's got more goals than some of the other guys that are making more than half the salary.
Yep.
There are gems like that, but they're never going to be able to show you nothing unless they get a chance to play. And that's where I think Blashill is missing the boat. These kids.
Maybe that's what we need to find out. We need to find out why aren't these kids coming up and playing?
It's been a Detroit method for years of not bringing up. Larkin was the first one to come straight up and play without playing down low and so long. Down low, I meant the Griffins. They don't like to bring up their draft picks to play in the NHL right away because they want them to season and play longer in the minor leagues. For some, I get it. But if you're drafting guys that high, they need to be ready to play. They're not going to make a huge impact, but at least you never know. They may shine.
That's a good philosophy when you're competing for a playoff spot every year. But if your team is hot garbage, what does it matter?
Give them a shot.
Might as well let them play against the better guys. Maybe that'll make them better.
Give them a shot. I mean, you hear this phrase all the time, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
You have a good player like Sider, who was obviously a hot topic because of his awareness and intelligence. Get him up here. Let him play with someone experienced like Mike Green. Let him play. See what he can do. If he sucks for a week, send him back.
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen? You give up 8 goals instead of 7?
That's my point. That's exactly my point. And it's, God, is it frustrating. I know that people online are melting down, and it's almost, I told you I had to almost take a little freaking break from all the web pages and the fan groups and everything because people are just so god-awfully mean and unrealistic. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out the Fire Harbaugh people. That makes zero freaking sense to me, but that's a different podcast for a different day.
Yeah.
So this is what we got coming up. Tomorrow, the Wings are at home against the Predators. So we need to get back to our game and have some sort of fun out of this while we can. So it's the Predators tomorrow at home, and then on Wednesday it's at the Rangers. And then after that, back home to play the Bruins on, looks like Saturday, the 8th. I could be totally wrong.
Saturday is...
The dates are November 4th.
The 8th is Friday.
The 8th is Friday. Okay, so they're at home Friday night against the Bruins. And then do they get another? They do. They get the Golden Knights on the 10th. So we actually get 4 games to pick.
Awesome.
So I'll just write Vegas. Okay, so the Predators. Do they win or lose, and who scores?
No, I can't pick them against the Predators.
At home.
Not the way they're playing right now. I mean, you got to go with the Predators.
Yeah, they just shut us down 4-0 too. coming back. I'm going to say they bounce back and win.
Panthers beat us 4-0.
I'm sorry, Panthers. Yeah, you're right. Panthers, Predators right next to each other. And it's Sunday morning after a fun night of drinking.
Understood.
So, yeah, it is what it is.
It's all right. That's why there's two of us here, so we can make sure that we get the info right.
I'm going to say a win, and I'm going to take the easy one with Mantha. What do you got?
I got Hronek.
And a loss?
Yeah.
God, Hronek's been fun to watch.
Yeah.
And Bertuzzi still does not shut down anything.
Ever.
He
is literally the Energizer Bunny with skates on.
We need
6 more of him.
We need 6 of him and just put him on every line. and defense as well.
Not to cut into or sidestep here. I just don't understand why these guys don't skate the whole game.
Dude.
Come on, man. Get in better shape.
It's so funny when I hear someone say, yeah, they only 20, 30 seconds.
They have no idea. People that say that have no idea.
If you ever get a chance to get on ice skates, skate as hard as you can for 20 seconds and then tell me how gassed you are.
Yeah, then let me know when your heart explodes.
It's like when you hear these guys that are getting double shifted, like anybody that's ever played ice hockey knows, like, man, this guy's in phenomenal shape.
Yep.
Because that is tough to do. Usually it's one trip down the ice, one trip back, and then on your way back down, you're off.
To add to that, again, not to cut into the game
for
here.
For us mortals.
Yes, for us mortals. I have not been a lifelong hockey fan. Growing up in Florida,
right.
we don't have ice here. It just became popular about 10 years ago with the ice skating rinks in the malls and the sports forums.
Yep.
I became a hockey fan late 90s, late 80s, early 90s when I was living up in North Carolina, and there was a lot more exposure to it. And I was amazed at how small the guys actually are when they take their pads off. Because you see these guys throwing their bodies around and skating, and then you realize there's not an ounce of fat on these guys. It's not like football where you got an offensive lineman where his gut's hanging over his pants. There are none of those in hockey. They are skin and bones because of what they have to do on those skates.
I worked at a really crappy electrical company that was redoing all the data wiring, everything for Amalie Arena. So I was working in Amalie Arena before the season opener was supposed to happen 2 summers ago. And walking through the concourse, because we had to walk through where all the basically anybody that is there for any reason walks through the back, where the Zamboni is and all that stuff. And I was walking next to Tyler Johnson and said, how you doing and stuff like that. Super friendly guy. But in my mind, I kept thinking, dude, I could whoop this guy's ass. He's like 4 inches shorter than me. Like, it's crazy how the size-wise, Stamkos is not that big.
No, he's not.
But, of course, as expected, extremely polite and very approachable and very cool. Would talk to us, say hi to us, ask you, hey, it was getting down to the end of the preseason, so they were looking for the season opener to be ready to go. Of course, the players be like, hey, how we doing? Is this place going to be ready to go? And be like, oh, yeah, of course, no problem.
Yeah, we got you.
But they were just really cool. Super nice guys. But you're right. When you see him off the ice in regular clothes, you're like, Jesus, he's a little guy. Except for guys like Mantha, who's an oak tree.
Right. Chara.
Yeah.
People like that.
It's crazy, but you're right. For the most part, a lot of guys are not that big at all. All right, so then we go to November 6th against the Rangers, and that is at New York.
I'm gonna give them a win here.
Okay. I'm gonna go loss. Who do you got scoring?
Bertuzzi.
Went out on a limb there, huh?
Well, you got to grab the low hanging fruit every now and then. I mean, I got to pick 4 games here, and I can only pick one person each. So
I am gonna pick Filppula because he is due to freaking do something. So I'm gonna take Flip in a loss. Next game. Your family's team, the Bruins, and that is in Detroit. Just say loss. You want to.
It's not that I want to. It's not that I want to. Don't get me wrong here.
You just want the point.
No. I don't know. It's hard because these two traditionally play each other very tough.
Yep.
So, and it's in Detroit.
And Boston's not lighting it up right now either.
No, they're not. You know what? Screw it. Let's go with the W.
Wow, a W. Who do you got?
I got your boy getting off the skid, Athanasiou.
If there's anybody that needs it, it's freaking him. I'm going to say it's a loss, and Mike Green finally gets
Really?
goal.
You bust my chops over saying it's a loss, and then you pick the loss.
Well, yeah, we can't pick the same thing every time.
Yeah, we can.
I'm comfortable saying it's a loss.
All right.
If they fire Blashill, I'll change my pick. But I'll pick Mike Green to get off the schneid and finally do something. Last game of the week, November 10th, we got Vegas.
That's a loss.
I agree with you. Who do you got?
I was actually going to say Green.
Okay, I'll give him to you.
I didn't pick Mantha this week,
No, he didn't.
and I intentionally. He is their Walter Payton right now. He is the guy that teams are coming in and saying that's who we have to stop.
Yeah,
Because he's their best player. Bertuzzi is the best player on the ice, in my opinion, because of what he does. But Mantha right now is the biggest threat to the opposing team.
Oh, without a doubt.
And they are all over him like white on rice on a glass of milk and a paper plate in a snowstorm.
It's he's definitely one of those players, those few players that you have to game plan around because he is that good and he's everywhere. But in the Vegas game that I have being a loss, I'm going to take Wolverine Glenn Denning.
Okay.
And then hopefully, I don't know. God, I just hope we get some wins this week. It'd be nice.
Yeah.
Turn it around. But at this point, if they're going to keep losing, it's not all bad because they can only keep losing so many games until Blashill gets let go. And to me, I see that as the only scenario that prompts something to happen or spark any change.
I agree.
So that's what I got.
I agree. That's what I got.
Let's hope stuff changes.
Hopefully we didn't sound like a broken record this week. There's just not a lot for us to analyze and look at and do, and it's
like I
sad.
Like I said, I try and keep it positive. I try and not just lose all hope like a lot of Michigan fans have, even being 6-2. If you think otherwise, if you got any questions, if you got anything we want to talk about, or if you think we're totally wrong on something, totally right on something, you can find me on Twitter at TopShelfDSP, or my personal one, which is at Putty, Putty 2773.
I'm at GBishop72.
And I'm also going to, I know I said I was trying to do this, I've got to get an Instagram page together for Top Shelf. I know it tends to reach a lot more people, and we can do some fun video stuff as well. So sorry for the slight delay. Just work life got in a big way this past week, so we're a couple days behind, but won't happen very often at all. So we'll be back.
You can also catch us if you'd like to on Top 5 for Fighting, which is our other podcast that we do, which is significantly lighter and more fun than this. We have fun doing this one, but it's more informative than just us being a bunch of goofballs, which is what we do on that one.
Oh, it totally derails on the other one.
Oh yeah, it's you guys got some snow days coming up here. If you need something to enjoy listening to, give that a whirl.
No, you got to sound intelligent when you're doing a hockey podcast, but
right
when we're doing Top 5, yeah, not so much.
Agreed.
Not at all. So thanks again for all the listens, for the feedback. Would love some more feedback, especially on your thoughts. Should they fire Blashill? Should they not? If they do, who should they look for? Players that you want to see gone, players that you want to see signed. Just give us some feedback.
We'd love to have some people to give some shout-outs to.
Make that part of the show as well, and make this a discussion with other Wings fans as well, and not just us. So until then, we'll see you next week.
Go Blue, go Wings.
Go Wings.